Autolaser. What are these lines and why should I care? If you've only used your laser unidirectionally for engraving, you may never experienced a fuzzy edge. But if you've used your laser bidirectionally, or the laser moving back and forth on at the same time, but if you have used your laser bidirectionally, then more than likely you have had at one time or even still fuzzy edges on your engravings. And no matter how much you try to focus the beam correctly, they remain. In many cases, people just give up and blame the laser, and while the laser is the cause, there is a way to fix it. First though, click the subscribe button and the bell to get notifications when we post new videos. We'll be using Autolaser 2.3.5 for this session, and while the parameters apply to most all Autolaser software versions, the layout might look a little different from the older versions. So first off, we want you to open Autolaser, as you can see on the screen here. The parameters that we want to look at are the Carve Gap parameters, which are part of the process parameters of the machine. On the right hand side, Machine Info, click the button and you'll see a window pop open, and here we have process parameters. So this is the box that we want to look at. This box is called the Technology Parameters with 3 areas: Carve Gap, Speed Limit, and Cut Interval. We'll be focusing on the Carve Gap area for this video. You can see that I have some entries in my Carve Gap box, which are corrections for different speed for my laser and bidirectional engraving. These corrections were based on testing which was accomplished by the lines that you saw at the beginning of the video. What are you going to need to accomplish this testing? You're going to need a straight edge, some white cardstock, the whiter the better, and a magnifying glass. So let's close this box. Close this box. In the Autolaser drawing area, create 3 boxes that are 20 millimeters by 10 millimeters and separated by 5 millimeters. It's easier to use the X and Y location and sizing boxes to make everything just right. Now open up the work parameters by double-clicking on a color in the parameter box below the machine area on the work tab. So this is the work tab. This is the machine, and these are the parameters. So we're going to double-click here. Now this is where 2.3.5 is a little different. You can see that the work parameters screen is a little different. So we're going to want to carve. We can set the carve speed. Enter a carve speed of 50 millimeters per second. A carve direction of horizontal 2-way. And a carve accuracy of 1 millimeter. Now take note of what your carve accuracy is currently, because you're going to want to replace that back when you're done. And what this carve accuracy does is, as you saw, the lines were individual. They were spaced apart. This is the spacing, your carve accuracy. That's the spacing between them. Set your power to be low enough not to burn through the cardstock at the speed selected. 50 millimeters, I'm going to set mine for 10%. Now run the job on the laser after setting everything in place on the laser bed. If when the job is complete, using the straight edge, all the lines begin at the end at the same location, then the laser is okay at 50 millimeters per second. It doesn't need any compensation. You can continue on to higher speeds, 100 millimeters per second, 200 millimeters per second, and test those. You can go to higher speeds as well, depending on the laser model that you have. At some point of increasing the speed, you will start to see that the lines do not begin or end at the same locations. These are the speeds that you will need compensation. How much compensation you need is different from one machine to another. This is when you will start adding or subtracting the start of the laser to compensate for the speed and direction change in the Carve Gap window. So let's open that window back up. So you can see that for a speed of 100, I need negative 0.18 millimeters to compensate to get all the lines to line up. This is when you'll start adding or subtracting the timing of the start of the laser to compensate for speed and direction changes in the Carve Gap. You will have to click the Use checkbox below the Carve Gap box for the compensation to be applied during testing. It will take multiple tests. Make sure that you document on the cardstock what speed and carve repair settings that you are using for each job. I know it says repair, but it's repair. Most of the time you will need a negative number, and the number will increase in the negative direction the faster the head is moving. You notice I go from negative 18 at 100 millimeters per second to negative 0.25 at 200 millimeters per second. Click the Add button to enter a new compensation parameter, enter the speed and millimeters, and click OK. This is where you can put negative numbers in. Wow, 3,000. Just make sure you don't try to speed it up too much. You can also delete when you make mistakes like I just did. This isn't supposed to be part of the video, but hey, we're going to make it happen this way. So after you input your new number, run the job again, check if the repair number worked or needs additional adjusting. It may take multiple runs unless you have a measuring tool that's very precise. Make sure you have enough cardstock to be able to run multiple runs. Once you're done with testing all the speeds that you run the laser at, make sure that you save those settings. That'll close the window, and now you are ready to go. Now you should be ready to run bidirectional engraving jobs that will have crisper edges at higher speeds, which means that the job finishes faster. And if you're selling time or products from your laser, more money for you. Make sure you click the subscribe button, hit the bell if you want to get notifications of when we produce new videos, and check out our YouTube channel for anything that might interest you on previous Autolaser videos.